Good evening, friends. Well, here it is, the video I mentioned to you about warranties, especially for Royal Chessman. I have received some comments about this, not just recently, it's been a while, where people ask how the replacement warranties work. There was a short where I showed you some pieces that were replaced for me. As an example, let me show you a little sample. Here you have, well, for ebony queens. Obviously, each set comes with 2 ebony queens. They replaced them for me, and even gave me 2 extra, so to speak, because one arrived with a crack. They replaced the second one again, and this time it arrived in good condition. So, yeah, I have my 4, even though only one was actually defective. You get to keep the pieces. Now, I'm going to tell you quickly, as fast as I can, what happens with, the 3-year replacement warranty for pieces. I'm only going to talk specifically about Royal Chessman, because that's the one I've really had much more experience with in this area. There's also, chessbazaar.com, which I've also had a relatively good experience with. That's as far as I'll go. I'm not going to tell you how the others work because I also don't want to, spread misinformation. On the contrary, what I want to do on this channel is inform and give all the tools to anyone who wants to buy their first luxury chess set, so they know what kind of support they have behind them with Royal Chessman. To start, well, I do want to mention, just to be clear, this is only about Royal Chessman. I want to share that for those who, as I said, want to buy their first, set, it's best to do it here so you have a pleasant buying experience, feel confident above all, and have clarity. Royal Chessman is a store, it's reputable, and above all, it specializes in artisanal and high-end chess sets. They have years of experience. They also have international recognition. In their policy, it explicitly, says the following. You can go to their website and it says, if I remember correctly, it says, our quality control team, offers products that are personally inspected, before shipping. If you receive a product, that is damaged or defective, it will be replaced at no cost. That's as far as it goes. There are a lot of interpretations here, and I'm going to tell you the following. If the damage was, due to mishandling by the customer, this policy theoretically doesn't apply, but this is where Royal Chessman sets itself apart from the rest. You're about to hear what I'm going to tell you, because in addition, they have that 3-year warranty like some other competitors also offer. Royal Chess really sets itself apart when it comes to replacements for breakage or manufacturing defects, or also, for material defects. This obviously includes cracks, as long as it's also due to misuse, in theory. And, well, that's exactly what it says explicitly. This warranty not only, covers damages from shipping as well, and I want to make that very clear. I mean, these were shipping damages and they covered them for me right away, but also that warranty acts like insurance for you. Let's say that at any time during those 3 years, that you, have the chess set in your hands, if it happens to break, if it happens to crack under the conditions I've already mentioned in all the previous videos, if it develops any defect over those 3 years, they will replace it, and they'll replace it at no cost to the customer. You don't pay, no, there's no shipping cost either, and they also don't ask you to send it back, or to destroy it, or anything like that. You get to keep the piece in your hands. This really does show the commitment that, Royal Chessman has in its quality policy compared to, well, its competitors. Some do ask you to send it back, but be careful, this policy, isn't meant to be abused. I really want to make that very clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I'm going to tell you about my experience. Royal Chessman is very careful. They are experts at analyzing photos and videos when you send in evidence, like if something arrived damaged, if a piece arrived broken or it fell, or it cracked after 2 years, just to give an example, or if you dropped it and you want to request a replacement because you accidentally dropped it or had some kind of accident. They are experts in that area and, sometimes, they really analyze the photos and videos carefully. And I do want to mention the following. I mean, you shouldn't think you can find some loophole to trick them, you know? Many times that's something I've actually seen myself. I'll tell you why later. Many times, without saying anything. They act in very good faith. Just Royal Chessman. They act in very good faith. Why? Because that's how it goes sometimes. They'll give you a replacement to keep, the customer happy. Even when maybe the customer dropped it, or even, not just by accident, maybe on purpose, I don't know, and doesn't want to tell the truth, and they notice, you know? When it's damage from carelessness or mishandling of the pieces. Out of goodwill, they'll often give you a replacement so that you're happy as a customer, because that warranty is like insurance for you. And sometimes that can make the customer might think, well, yeah, I got away with it, right? But they do notice, and they do it because they have great customer service and don't want confrontation. That's why it's important to be honest with them and also to be very responsible. That's why I'm telling you how to use the quality policy to your advantage here. Especially when it comes to accidents or drops, because those are, let's say, subjective conditions, so to speak. A fall due to an accident, or let's call it negligence, though I don't think you'd lose your own chess set just to get a new piece, but anyway, generally Royal Chess already knows that's going to happen within those 3 years. So, although the warranty explicitly covers defects due to breakage from external causes at first, damages from drops or mishandling are generally not covered. Let's say it's something subjective, but this is where Royal Chess really stands out from the rest. If the customer is honest and clearly explains what happened, in other words, you have to explain well what happened. If it was an accident, like, hey, my daughter grabbed it by accident and dropped it, or my pet got a hold of it and bit it, always be honest with them. And I can guarantee you, I'm telling you this, I'm saying it while staking my channel's audience and the credibility of all the videos I've made for you. Royal Chessman always tries to find a way to help you, because they really value their customers. It's not just about the amazing craftsmanship and the high quality of their pieces. So, for example, if a piece falls, this is something no one else is going to explain to you. I want to bring it up because no one will tell you all these details before you buy a chess set. If you drop a piece, like what happened to me with a previous board that I showed in a video, if it falls from a short height and leaves a mark, like it happened to me, even if it's not due to negligence but really just an accident, you have to take responsibility. I took responsibility. These pieces are very delicate and the policy is precisely there for that, to provide protection for 3 years, but not to be abused. So, if someone is honest with them, believe me, the store will always look for a way to help you. So, you're not left alone. As for the pieces, sometimes there are small variations in size, there are variations in weight, there are people who weigh them and among themselves say, no, it's just that it weighs 5 or 4 grams more or 4 grams less, or the shades are very unusual, because, let's say, handmade pieces will naturally have those. So, for example, a piece that weighs 3 or 4 grams more or less, or that has a queen, a trunk, let's say, that's a little thicker than another. For example, here I have one. I'm not sure if I can show it to you right now, but these are, variations, let's say, complaints that would really be subjective, because if you look here, they practically look the same. I mean, maybe a more, discerning eye would notice that this one looks slightly thicker than this one, or vice versa. In fact, I don't even remember which one it is anymore, but those little imperfections tend to happen, right? That doesn't mean your set is defective, and it also doesn't mean we're going to take advantage of the quality policy. Also, for example, if there are slight changes in color, like I mentioned, with Padok woods like this one, there are slight, normal color variations due to oxidation. That's part of the charm of something that's truly handmade. That's not a defect, nor is it something to complain about. Honestly, it's not something to complain about either. I think it takes judgment and ethics not to abuse it, because in reality they have an excellent quality policy and excellent, let's say, customer service, and you wouldn't want the good to pay for the bad in the future. If you're looking for something completely uniform, in tone, well, more than tone, in size, then the best thing is simply to buy pieces that are made by 3D printers for woodcutting, and those exist, because with handmade pieces here, you have to understand they're not totally perfect. Obviously, the sets that are called perfect, which is where the guarantee applies, I forgot to mention that, only for perfect sets, but even then, they're not 100% perfect or identical. That's also part of the charm of a handmade piece crafted from natural woods. That's what really makes them special. Now, when there's a difference in tone, if it's very noticeable, there are previous videos where I actually show you this. I'll give you an example. I have two sets, but it's not that one has a defect, it's just that one is older than the other. If there's a very pronounced oxidation, a really obvious color difference, like you can see here you'll see this, the Padork, these are two pawns. You can clearly see the color, this one, the tone, obviously, is still a young Padork, and this one is a Padork that's already had about 5 years of aging. This one is only 6 months old. But if these two belong to the same set, then yes, I could apply the warranty focused on material defects, not manufacturing defects, because it's fully functional, its size is correct, it's not warped. In that case, there really is a clear difference where you could say, hey, yeah, but also, between these two pieces, well, the color, man, it's the same as the Spaniards would say, man, it's the same, so how are you going to make a claim? I mean, no, you shouldn't take advantage, right? They're going to tell you, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just a natural change. In these two cases, well, yes, of course it could apply. They know and recognize when something like that happens, and they'll make the exchange for you right away. So, that's an example of a claim that could be subjective, but becomes objective when you see such a clear difference in shades. Also with these pieces, like I said, they have slight variations in the trunk, and as long as it doesn't break the visual harmony of the set, you really have to be honest with yourself and ethical, it's not considered a defect. But here, this could already be considered a defect, and yes, you could request a replacement, and believe me, they'll do it for you. Any damage caused by humidity or sudden temperature changes within those 3 years, because I talk a lot about those conditions even though they don't always mention it, and generally, no high-end chess store really mentions it in their policy, and in fact, they don't mention it at all. They're understanding, and a lot Royal Chess Malt really is understanding. I mean, yes, they support you during those 3 years. They get that maybe you don't have all the information, even though sometimes they assume you do, but they're very understanding, and many times they'll replace the item even if there was some carelessness. That's because cracks usually appear when you neglect your set, when there are sudden changes in humidity and temperature. They assume that the customer already knows how to take care of these pieces, but they're also tolerant so that people can develop those good habits. You have 3 years of insurance, more than a warranty. I call it insurance. You have 3 years of insurance so that during those 3 years you can develop good habits for how to really take care of your high-end chess set, but of course, you have to be responsible. So, you have 3 years to get used to, or for one to get used to, taking care of these pieces so that they really last you a lifetime, but you shouldn't abuse this warranty, because it's meant to protect, not to be misused. So, that's something I wanted to make clear. So, just to wrap up, in summary, I will tell you, trust Royal Chess. Royal Chess Malt has a solid policy that truly protects and supports you as a customer. It's not just useful in or applicable to providing help with shipping issues, but throughout the entire lifespan of the set, they'll always have your back and support you, even after your warranty has expired. That 3-year warranty, which I actually see more as insurance, for up to 3 years, you'll have it available so you feel encouraged to buy it, and during that time, you can learn how to take care of your chess set. But buyers really do, and I want to emphasize this again, need to be ethical. We must, I include myself, avoid taking advantage and accept that some imperfections are actually a natural part of handmade products. Royal Chess Malt always looks for ways to help its customers, and I can vouch for that with all the sets I've bought, and with all the years of experience I've had as well. They have never left a customer without support or without answering a single email. On the other hand, there are other stores, also in India, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Eastern Europe, that will offer you replacements with 3-year warranties and very similar or practically identical policies. I'm telling you this from my own experience. I've also bought from them, not a lot, maybe a set or two at most, because even when there are clear problems, or you have clear problems that definitely fall under the warranty, really obvious ones like cracks or visible defects, they always make excuses. I mean, they always make excuses. They look for excuses, say that's just how the piece is, and they haggle with you over the replacement or exchange. A lot of times you really have to insist a lot before they finally pay attention to you. And in one of those cases, they didn't even give me a replacement. So, in that case, they just left me hanging. I just stopped buying from them. That's all I did. I'm not going to mention the store because my goal isn't to badmouth businesses. After all, everyone finds their own way to make a living. But anyway. So, to wrap up, if what you're looking for, or what people are looking for, is quality, but above all, good support and good service, believe me, Royal Chess Malt is the best option. And finally, just to close, it's important to remember that Royal Chess Malt knows that your purchase isn't just a game for you to have fun with, but also that it can be a significant investment. That's why they help you protect that investment with a warranty that's like insurance for 3 years. So, please, let's not abuse it, because it's really meant to protect, not to be used inappropriately, and so that your investment lasts a lifetime and doesn't end up forgotten in a drawer. That's all, folks. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, comments, or need information, I'll see you in the next one, and I'm at your service for any situation that may come up. If you have questions about the policy or how you can use it, you can also write to me in the comments. You can take a look, you can check out the videos, and well, I'll see you in the next one.